Hi folks, I'm at the northeastern edge of the gravitational pull of Atlanta in Beaufort, Georgia, at the Gwinnett Environmental and Heritage Center. Now this sprawling campus is not only a testament to the heritage of this county, named after one of the original signers of the Declaration of Independence, it's also a very model of efficiency in maintaining the environment and making use of it, as well as being a good steward of it. Even the parking lot is paved with pervious or porous concrete, which is designed to allow rainwater to pass through and become groundwater again instead of runoff. And all this blends seamlessly together. You know, we're here today when they have what's supposed to be a pretty cool dinosaur exhibit. We're going to check that out. So come on to the Gwinnett Environmental and Heritage Center. One of the most ingenious aspects of the Environmental and Heritage Center here in Gwinnett are the roofs, which are planted with native species and dirt to filter the rainwater. Each of the roofs are peaked in several places to channel that water down into predetermined places where they empty into canals and then into cisterns and pools, and are used for the vegetation and for the animals. A fountain filled with water channeled from the rain, aesthetically pleasing and very efficient and not wasteful at all. You see another use for the water that they catch with the runoff. They've made this little pond. I don't know if you can see the little turtle. Full of fish that seem to be thriving in this water that's channeled basically from the roof of the building. Another view of the Heritage Center. I'm trying to get you some good views of the roof. It's hard to from the ground, of course. You can see along the edges the ingenious way they have of preserving rainwater, channeling it, and at the same time making use of it. Some old relics of a bygone era. I'd like to have gone to one of their concerts. They have some interesting displays here. Paddling your own canoe. I guess making them, showing how they dig them out and burn the wood so that it can be more easily shaved. This must be a replica of a dugout canoe. Kind of rough hewn, isn't it? day book. I'm not exactly sure what that is, unless it's like a calendar book. If someone knows what a day book is, please feel free to comment and let me know. But I'm just imagining it's like an appointment book, a very old appointment book, but it may not be. Can't get enough. We need more cowbell. You guys know how I feel about pottery. I'm always interested in any kind of exhibit about that. Here's some shards. Pretty old. 1000 BC. And this stamped one with the designs on it, I'm not sure how well you can see. From 1000 to more recently 500 AD, so that's a long time. It could have come from any of that time through there, I guess. Same here. It's hard to see them, but there are also some designs on these pieces of pottery if you look very closely. One thing you'll often see here at the Gwinnett Environmental and Heritage Center are volunteers working to not only keep the place clean, to landscape it, but to maintain runoff, keep it channeled in a proper way. They do everything they can here, of course, like we were speaking of in the parking lot, to control runoff and keep all the water around here, groundwater if they can, or recycled and used for something else. But occasionally there's a little maintenance that needs to be done. You see how every bit of space and everywhere the water is channeled is being used. This place is oh so efficient. Working in the cotton fields. Working out in the fields, that's a rough life. Spool cabinet, I guess this is for, well, pretty self-explanatory, huh? Flush with success. Who doesn't love a good play on words? But Gwinnett County over the past few decades has been very conscious about development and how they proceed, especially in regard to infrastructure. And for a place that gets a fair amount of rain when it rains and is fairly flat, being somewhat below the range of the Blue Ridges, there is surprisingly little flooding that goes on here. This is the way Fort Daniel looked up on Hog Mountain, not too far from here, back in the 1790s. Of course, none of this actually exists now. All this has been torn down, but it is an archaeological site. And it's hard to believe that here in Beaufort, Georgia, could be a frontier. In the 1790s it was, though. It was a frontier between where the settlers built and where the native tribes, the Creek and the Cherokee, had hunting lands. So every now and then disputes arose. The Creek and the Cherokee were already at each other's throats much of the time over land disputes, and then you throw in a few thousand settlers. And it's bound to get ugly every now and then, so that's why the fort was built. Again, you see how the use of water channeled from the roof forming ponds to grow yet more vegetation. Wonderful idea. A different room of exhibits. Water as liquid. Let's see what happens. Warning, seizure warning. I've been lucky with that so far. Let's try out the left light. Ah, you see the water. It's highlighting the flow of the water. Watershed topographic maps. Oh, this must be Gwinnett County watershed. I bet that's Hog Mountain right there. The big rise in the middle. That's where Fort Daniel was. It's the highest point for several miles. It's a very interesting map, the way it's highlighted from beneath with the lights to highlight the pockets of water. Sedimentation demonstration. Some interesting looking knobs and dials to play with. Let's see. Oh, it's a screw to raise the water level. Let's see what happens when I turn this dial. Okay, when I turn this dial, biological filters, raw sewage might look like that in Neverland, but in my experience, it's not quite as colorful, not quite as jolly and pleasant. Okay, apparently you can puff out whiffs of different smells. Let's give it a go, shall we? Okay, not too bad. No. Rotten eggs is not as pleasant as fresh ones. Ooh, that's, yeah. Okay, when you walk on this, in this tunnel, treatment tank, a sewage treatment tank, I imagine, well, let's just say you can imagine what this brown material on the floor of this mock sewage treatment plant is supposed to be. And listen to what it does when you step in the poo-poo. Lots of interactive stuff in here for the kids, especially those smells. I remember a time when I was young enough to enjoy daring someone else to smell a stinky smell. I still present Tammy with that opportunity from time to time. Not a lot of fish in this tank. There is a fish in this one. This exhibit room is all about the dinosaurs. I've been hearing about this collection of dinosaur eggs. From the late Cretaceous. I don't know how to pronounce that dinosaur. Therizinosaur? there isn't a sore. Either it's a dinosaur or it's an allergy medication. And this bird egg is pretty big. It's a replica, it looks like, cast from an actual egg, but this bird was 11 feet tall. It's a lot of eating. Ostrich egg, compared to an ostrich egg, pretty big animal. They promise some real fossils. Smaller than a pot egg. These all look kind of like turtle shells you might find. A lot of Cretaceous periods eggs, apparently. Titanosaur. I don't know what that is, but it sounds impressive. Shell from the Titanosaur also. Look pretty thick. Of course, it's fossilized. Sauropod, a Vegisaurus. And some more actual dinosaur eggs from the late Cretaceous period. Theropod eggs. Those are weirdly shaped. They kind of look like fossilized baked potatoes. Baked potatoes. You can actually, there is no glass here, folks. Feels like rock, but it's pretty cool. I got to touch a dinosaur egg. Ooh. We too can be paleontologists. Channeling my inner Dr. Alan Grant. Check this out. A dinosaur bone we can touch. A big one too. Very rocky. They've got it in some kind of cast. Apparently they probably brought it out of the ground that way. Or they transport it. It's easier to keep from breaking.
Pretty much they just like
Puzzle you can put together. Some more dinosaur eggs. Please touch them. Okay.
walk through and, hi, how are you? Just sort of
model of the embryonic dinosaur. An orthopod nest upside down, just to show what it would look like from beneath the ground if you were looking up at the eggs in the clutch. Some more dinosaur eggs you can touch and feel the texture of. And another little embryo in a model. There's mama and there's the wee baby Triceratops. He looks hungry. You may think it's a fire pit, but no. It's the nest of a giant prehistoric bird. A raptor nest. Look at all these tiny dinosaurs. 5 of them. They were all buried alive, all fossilized together. And this is what they must have looked like when they had skin on them. And of course, there's a gift shop. Some pretty cool decor. Artifacts, looks like there's even some jewelry. Folks, thanks for coming along with me to the Gwinnett Environmental and Heritage Center here in Beaufort, Georgia. There's a lot more to see here than just the inside of the building and around it. The trails are full of examples of folks using the environment to their advantage while being good stewards of it at the same time. It's just a great place to spend an afternoon. So we'll be back. For the meantime, please subscribe. We have more adventures to show you. We'll see you later. Bye.